and heck of a game, for them, big win for them. Incredibly proud of our team, disappointed for them in the loss, but man, as I told them going into the game, I'm not gonna, play to a scoreboard. I want to see fight, I want to see guts, I want to see courage, I want to see toughness, I want to see physicality. Not perfection, all right? I want to see belief. And we saw that tonight from our guys. And so they've done everything that we've asked from them, and couldn't be more proud of them for that. Disappointed, and again, not being able to find a way to win the game. They made a couple of more competitive plays than we did. We certainly had our opportunities tonight, and like the normal ebbs and flows of any game. And again, they did enough to win. So I'm proud of our guys. Again, disappointed for our seniors, but as I told them, foundationally, how we do what we do is what matters. It's an easy time now for people to judge us based on being 6 and 7, and that's fine. That's what goes with the territory. And this is a performance-based profession, and people on the outside are going to judge us on that. And winning is incredibly important, and that's the standard and the expectations that are here at Oklahoma. But how we do what we do matters. Incredibly proud of certainly these gentlemen here, Dillon and Dashaun, for their leadership, their heart, their toughness, their work, for believing in Oklahoma and representing the brand the right way. And moving forward, it's a great learning opportunity. Had a bunch of young guys that got their first extended playing time, and man, I was really excited for them and proud of them and their effort. And it's going to bode well for us, in the future. So with that, we'll open it up for questions.
All right, if you have a question, raise your hand. We'll call on you. Our first one will be John down the front row here.
Yeah, Brent, I know you didn't win, but how does this game, the imprint of this game, fit with the culture and the structure that you want when you talk about foundation? How can you build from what you saw out there on the field?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think what you all saw today is what we've been seeing the last 3 weeks since, again, the end of the regular season, and bowl game was announced, and then our guys went right back to work. And you got to just trust my eyes. And from weight room to finishing strong in the classroom to the practice field to the extra film time to handling themselves with class, both on the field and certainly off the field while we were here, doing everything that we asked of them. I couldn't be more proud of them, and that is foundationally what it's about, man. They invested a tremendous amount. It should hurt. That's never going to be acceptable, but at the same time, you have no regret when you put everything you got into it. And that's what this football team did. And proud of the players and all of their hard work and their perseverance and just fight until the end, and proud of the coaches too. Were there plenty of mistakes? Absolutely. And we'll have to, look at those, once we get here to the out of season as well. But what I saw tonight was what I saw the last 3 weeks, and proud of these guys, for that.
We'll go over here on the right.
Brent, I wanted to ask you about just 60 rushing plays, 4 offensive linemen were missing. Eric Gray's out, and you had Gavin, and you had Javante have big games. Can you just talk about the run game and how everyone came together and meshed?
Yeah, again, the guys up front, man, they played physical. They played with purpose. I thought, the players played with the tremendous physicality and toughness that we've asked from them. Coach Biedenbow did a great job getting these guys ready. Jacob Sexton went out early in the game, and unfortunate for him, but he'll recover okay. And but really, again, I love the sense of desperation that they played with up front, and tight ends, O-line, the backs, Gavin and Javante in particular. Dillon in some of the run game that he was involved with as well. thought these guys, again, in many ways is exactly according to game plan. And so proud of them, for that.
All right, we'll take one on the aisle here, and then I'll pass it up to John next.
Hey Brent, kind of following up on the run game. Gavin Sawchuk, he hadn't seen a lot of time this year. He came into this bowl game and kind of shined a little bit, even though in a loss. Can you talk about his talent, his performance, and just kind of the future he has at Oklahoma moving forward?
Well, he has a tremendous future. He's made of all the right stuff. Tremendous character, great work ethic, incredibly humble, intelligent, tough. It's been easy for a guy like him to kind of check it in and not get better, but he showed up every day and got better all season long. These guys would attest to that. And he's been a great teammate, and he's ready for his opportunity when it presented himself. So really, again, excited for him in, some of his production tonight, outstanding. And, he's going to be a lot better going into next year because of it, kind of like Jalil in our bowl game a year ago. Also obviously able to, preserve his redshirt year as well.
Down in the front.
Yeah, for Dillon, could you, with the patchwork offensive line, guys coming in this past few weeks and then, first quarter of the game, can you kind of describe the competitiveness in yourself to be back in Orlando, if scrapping through, running for your life, making positive yards, and then getting up and even showing a little spiciness, I guess, at times? John back and forth.
Yeah, it's just
that kind of thing.
my competitive nature. I want to do whatever it takes for this team to win, and obviously it's a little frustrating when it doesn't happen, but personally I think the O-line played their butt off in the sense of their effort. They're guys who care. They're competing for, their opportunity at hand, and I can respect that. In times of a game, things happen. MAs happen, or shoot, sometimes you just lose a rep. But they continue to fight, and regardless of the situation, AP coming in and playing his butt off, I'm proud of them. More importantly, because they're my friends and guys I've connected with and are really close to. So whenever it's like that, you're riding with them forever, and regardless of the situation.
Take one over here on the far right.
Dashaun, I know that the loss is fresh in your mind, but can you appreciate what this season has meant in terms of you being a senior, a captain, and trying to get that foundation built?
Definitely, yeah. And kind of, this season has been up and down. It's been something that I'm not really used to. And I don't think any of us are really used to, and so kind of having this opportunity to still leave a legacy in a way, and just still kind of leave your fingerprint behind, or your however you want to look at it, was something that I just kind of clinged on to all year, and as many times as he said it, every time he said it, it's something that I knew that I wanted to do, and I just wanted to, any way I could, any little thing I could for, the young guys, just leave them with whatever I can, and so, yeah.
All right, take one from Barry on the right.
Yeah, Dillon, you on pass plays you were running for your life a lot, but that running game relieved the pressure. What can that running game do going forward? If you guys can run the ball like this with new tailbacks and a new line, what does that do for the future, you think?
I think, anytime the run game's doing well, it helps a lot, not only in, game management, but also, if you establish a run game, it helps you out in all areas. So our run game has been really well, or just been really good all year. So I'm proud of those guys up front, and obviously the running backs, there was no drop off in that sense, with, how talented those two, young guys are. So.
Take one from Ira on the left.
Coach, you guys obviously did a better job stopping their run than a lot of people have done, but then they got you guys in the passing game in the second half. Was it them adjusting, or what do you think happened there?
I think they got us in a couple of tough matchups. They made a couple of competitive plays, and then Jordan Travis did what Jordan Travis does sometimes. He extended plays with his legs. He does a great job keeping his eyes down the field. The receivers do a great job of getting open and staying alive, and they made some plays in that regard. We had the screen that it's part of the, whatever it was, 48 yards or something like that, and we don't leverage it right, and that's what happens. They did a good job off the play action, how they had that design, but I think it was a combination of a couple of bad matchups, not great calls. We had to 14 on a safety. It should have not have happened, and they made us pay for that. And it's a game of matchups, and that wasn't our intended matchup, so that's on us as coaches. And but again, I thought Jordan Travis got into a pretty decent rhythm there. They drove the ball. First drive of the second half, they went 15 plays for 94 yards, and they made, again, just a lot of critical plays within that drive, and that's what good teams will do. And we wanted to make them be efficient and drive the ball down the field if they were going to, as opposed to big plays. We still gave up too many explosive plays. It's a tough thing to have happen and have a chance to win one-score game. But I think it was a combination of those things in the passing game the second half.
All right, we've got one in the back on the riser. This one's for Dillon. Dillon, Coach Venables talked about not back here. Sorry. Coach Venables talked about not record chasing, but whenever you know that the 23 season winning record streak came to an end, does that affect you that happened this year?
Not necessarily. I think it tested me personally. Just in life, the journey, all the work you put in with a bunch of guys who have the right mindset and a great attitude, and your work doesn't necessarily come into fruition in that sense. But I think what I love about Coach BV is just the idea of attacking the process and loving that, and a result shouldn't be the drive for your happiness, or the result being what it is. It's just finding that deep joy in family, in the Lord, and of course with us, because that's the only thing that sticks. When you're tested like this, if you ain't got that, you'll go into dark places. So that being said, I'm proud of this team. We were tested in many ways, but we got the right guys in this building, and we love each other and know that, regardless of the result, we're together. So that's the main thing.
All right, we got any more questions for Coach Dillon or Sean? Okay, we got a couple on the right.
Brent, I know you're only a few minutes removed from this thing right now, but when you get the chance eventually to sit back and reflect on year one, the last 13 games, where do you think it is your mind will go first?
I mean, I've had I reflect though. I've had plenty of time. I'm in the middle of it, and I can see the trees through the forest. And so, first and foremost, again, proud of the work of the guys, man. I've been saying it all year. These guys have been putting the work in and giving us everything that we could ask for, and that's where it all starts, for me. And if we come up short in a lot of different areas as a staff, and certainly on the field, we certainly did. There's plenty of disappointment, and there's things that we'll need to do better moving forward. That goes without saying. But that really, it's any seasons like that, any season I've been a part of. So you go through, your normal postseason, processes as far as evaluation and, how I did what I did and how we do what we do schematically and all those types of things. And so that's a very broad question. And, again, Dillon alluded to it. It's the commitment, it's the work, it's the fight, it's the investment. That's where, foundationally, that's what it takes first. It takes that first. And if you don't have that, you have no chance. If we come up short, in 5 of our games, we come down on the last drive of the game, and we weren't good enough. We didn't coach them good enough, and we got to play a little more efficient. And, so we'll learn from it. That's what I know. I believe that without question, that we'll all learn from it. Scarred up from a challenging season, but I know the type of men, the type of people that we have in that locker room, and for me, that's what I hang my hat on in regards to we're going to be fine, all right? And we'll go back and look at a lot of things. There's a gazillion things that we'll go back and look at that we got to be better at, and programmatically, scheme, personnel, all of it. And but for me, it starts with those other things. And so again, certainly disappointed being 6-7, but proud in a lot of the things that we were able to accomplish, and certainly proud of the players and their work and their fight and their achievement. There's plenty of achievement in there. In the middle of losing, there's plenty. And so I think it's always important that you have the right perspective and you recognize that. Because I think you can get lost if it's all. And again, this is, at the end of the day, my job as a head coach is to win and win every one of them. And I get that, but from an expectation standard and our standards that we have in our program, it goes well beyond that. The results, you don't get into the arena and say, look, I'm only going to do my best if we win. That's not how it works. I'm only going to invest. I'm only going to put in the extra time. I'm only going to, blood, sweat, and tears with my teammates. I'm only going to sacrifice if I know we're going to win. That's not what you do. And then, the result always takes care of itself. And that's what Dillon, was saying. And again, sometimes, man, you're on the wrong side of it. And so why was that? And so you go back and, like you said, you go back and evaluate all of it. And we'll peel that onion all the way down to the core and look at that. But I know I just watched what I watched, what I've been watching. And again, for a lot of people, they can't see that because they're not inside the building, and that's fine. And we'll be judged by being 6-7. That's fine too, okay? But for me, for us, I know what the future looks like. And I've been seeing it in that locker room. And the winning will come. I know that without question.
All right, we'll take one last one for Barry, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, Brent, you said the foundation is in place, and expounding on what you just said, what did you see specifically out there tonight that shows that foundation?
Yeah, guts, courage, fight, physicality, attitude, belief, commitment, trust, love, respect. I saw brotherhood. I saw guys that had an appreciation for their opportunity, guys that had a thankfulness for, putting on a Sooner uniform. And again, part of the hurt and the disappointment when certainly me too, I know I can speak for them because we talk about it a lot, is this program has represented excellence for such a long time. And there's so many people, they want to turn the Sooners on, and the Sooners give them hope, the Sooners give them joy, the Sooners give them pride. And again, when you come up short, man, there's some disappointment. And so a lot of the hurt, it's for those people that have paid the price, have been in these shoes, have been in those locker rooms, have worn that whistle. Hey man, we're all prideful, and we care about what other people think in regards to our football family. And the past players and the past coaches and all the excellence, again, this university represents, that matters to all of us. And but that's what I saw, all those things, out there tonight.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate your time. Oklahoma will have additional availability in the outside the concourse here, outside their locker room behind us.